Peter, can we please go now? This is excruciating.
Are you kidding, Brian? These men and their redneck lifestyle really speak to me. This is the greatest show I've seen in years.
Lon Chaney Jr., Basil Rathbone, John Carradine, together once again in one of the greatest horror films. Not. That's right, this film pairs three of the greatest horror film icons with country music singers Pearl and Husky, Sonny James, and Merle Haggard. The results? Coming up. Hey, fellow YouTube watcher, welcome back to another episode of Don't Make Me Watch That! I'm your host, Kevin Given, and this week we look at the 1967 hokum Hillbillies in a Haunted House. Whoever made this movie must have been smoking some of Granny's crawdads.
I'm going down to the lake to smoke some crawdads.
Smoke some what?
Crawdads. But first I need a little pot.
Would you believe that this film is actually a sequel to another movie? 1966's Las Vegas Hillbillies. Before we look at this film, I want to let you know that I do reviews and columns for two sites, Comics for Sinners and Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter and Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi, available on Amazon. Check the links below for the trade paperback, Dracula Rising. Also, other Carl Vincent merchandise available on Teespring. T-shirts and posters with original artwork from Mark Pennington and Rodolfo Ezequiel. Also available is a book with a collection of my reviews and columns called Comics, Pop Culture, and Politics. You can look inside all of my books available on Amazon. Check my author page for even more available books. If you like the show, please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to stay informed of upcoming videos. Here's some great artwork from the Carl Vincent's origin story, available soon from Raphael House. It's called Foul Blood. Look for it! Fortunately for horror fans, this is not the only show that featured these three horror icons. A better film for horror fans is 1956's The Black Sleep. This is the last feature film directed by Gene Yarborough, who directed comedy greats like Abbott and Costello and the Bowery Boys, as well as cult classics like The Devil Bat and The King of the Zombies. He's probably still rolling over in his grave with the realization that this was his final feature-length film. Anyway, this flick opens with three hillbillies. Bo, Luke, and Daisy, they ain't.
Daisy.
Two country stars and their manager driving down the road in a car stolen from Boss Hogg.
Listen, there ain't no shame on that here if you's my hanky. There you go ahead.
Singing a cheesy country song. Yeehaw! Some of that hand-clapping, knee-slapping, toe-tapping music we all love. And all of a sudden, hillbilly fight!
Got it!
Grab a fence post, hold it tight, whomp your partner with all your might. Hit him in the chin, hit him in the head, hit him again, the critter ain't dead.
Shooting right past the manager, whose name is Jeepers, Ed, several times. Don't tell him to duck or anything, in a move that would make Ed Wood proud. The car drives up with a clear sky. Then we cut to a dark, cloudy sky with lightning and back to our protagonist.
Then how about when the policeman arrived in daylight, but now it's suddenly night?
What do you know? Haven't you heard of suspension of disbelief?
Boots, Jeepers, and Woody Weatherby, with the sun clearly shining down on them. They wind up in a house that the local mechanic forgot to tell them was haunted.
Nobody ever comes this way.
Where are we?
Sleepy Junction.
Sleepy Junction.
Where are we?
Sleepy Junction.
You are villains, three horror icons, and a gorilla. An obvious man in a suit.
Listen, I don't like this place one little bit.
Real scary stuff, that. Then we cut to some cheesy country songs before we find out what the villains are up to, just fighting over putting the gorilla in a cage. The gorilla and a skeleton scare our heroes, but of course, they don't leave the house or the movie would be over.
Well, I don't think it's so funny.
And I'm not laughing at all.
Neither is anyone laughing at this movie. More cheesy country music with a tribute to gowns. How horrific is that?
A daydream of glamour. Gowns, beautiful gowns.
The owner warns them they'd better stay in the room. Our antagonists argue about whether or not they're entertainers and plan to get rid of them. Enter the Acme City Missile Plant. gotta protect the secret formula from the hillbillies because they might be spies. The gorilla kidnaps Boots, and our heroes have to track her down. She's tied up and held hostage. In true Scooby-Doo fashion, the villains send a guy in a sheet pretending to be a ghost to scare them.
Like there's a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
The authorities demand that the protagonists prove they're entertainers by playing the guitar.
Play.
Out in the West Texas town of... I know, that song's too good for this trashy movie. The genius villains think Boots is a code word. Yeah, bad, overwrought, outright trash. Stinker of a movie. And Boots tries to escape, but the gorilla stops her. The villains give the wrong formula to the boss and have to figure out where the right formula is. A wacky chase ensues until the protagonists finally put the kibosh on the kidnappers. The poor man's James Gregory,
Another kidnapping? Everybody's doing it today, Bonnie. It's big business.
saves Boots. And the whole thing wraps up like a poor episode of Scooby-Doo.
The Luna Ghost is in fact...
Oh, man, Smithers! The creepy janitor?
And that's all the time we have for this week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to remind you that I do reviews and columns for two sites, Comics for Sinners and Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter and Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi, available on Amazon. Check the links below for the trade paperback Dracula Rising. Also, other Carl Vincent merchandise available on Teespring. T-shirts and posters with original artwork from Mark Pennington and Rodolfo Ezequiel. Also available is a book which is a collection of my reviews and columns called Comics, Pop Culture, and Politics. You can look inside all of my books available on Amazon. Check my author page for even more available books. If you like the show, please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to stay informed of upcoming videos. Here's some great artwork from my main artist, Rodolfo Ezequiel. Check the links below for the trade paperback Dracula Rising. Until next time, this is Kevin Gibbons saying, y'all come back now, you hear?
Let's all square dance. Places all...
Well, doggies. Ain't that something?